Okay, so we've all had that friend or coworker who was great at doing impressions, right? Getting laughs by impersonating the teacher or pretending to be the boss during happy hour. But certain people have such a knack for voices that they can make a career out of it.
Are you nuts? Steroids are damaging. You can't.
Don't be stupid. I won Mr. Olympia 7 times.
The donut hole? I forgot the donut hole. No!
I don't know who you are. Don't know what you want, but I have a particular set of skills for bodies like you. Huh.
I mean, he actually endorsed me, can you believe it? George W. said, as former President George W. Bush here, and Donald is going to economize the world, and...
Our next guest has performed all over the world and has mastered an arsenal of voices, known as Australia's #1 impersonator, Ben Price. Good morning, Ben.
Morning, Deborah. How are you?
Good to see you. Oh, this is interesting because when we do impersonations, I think a lot of us assume that we're starting with a base of the American kind of accent, right, that we're familiar with, but you already have an accent, so you're skilled to do American accents or whatever, right?
All right, I'm starting with a loose base. I don't know where it's going to go, so I have a blank canvas, I guess, with the Aussie accent. So talking like this, Australian, and then we have to become American, so it's really, a challenge there for us.
This is awesome. It's a great talent, actually. You grew up in Melbourne. When did you first find that you were that guy?
I was that guy when I was 10. Can you believe it? Like, about 30 years ago or something. I'm not good at maths. There's 3 types of people, those that can count and those that can't.
You just started copying people, just like one day picking it up.
Yeah, I was doing, Sylvester Stallone, right? It was like one of my favorites. I was doing that at 10. I can't believe my voice hadn't even broken. I was already like a day at the time. My parents didn't understand me, thought I was going through puberty earlier, and is he okay? And I was Sylvester Stallone, and then I just, now I have about 200 voices.
That's in your head.
In my head, so you don't know what's going on in here. It's
or
crazy.
Who's going to show up, right?
I mean, I need to consult. You saw Dr. Phil there. I need to give myself some therapy, right? Today is a changing day in my life. It's crazy.
At the age of 14, speaking of puberty, your dad offered you $20 to learn a song, Trouble, from the Music Man. Now, why did he want you to learn that song?
It was one of those songs, you know the Trouble song? Right here in River City, why sure, I'm a billy player, certainly made it proud to see him, always made it proud to say. I learned that when I was 14.
Wow.
And, that's the one there.
And there it is, right there. That's the song
he just said, I'll give you $20 if you can learn that, thinking I'll never learn
what was
that
his point?
song. He just thought, well, because I was wanting to learn acting and get into voices, and he said, well, here's a challenge. And I had a record player back in the day, so I'd have to stop it and write it down.
For the young people out there, a record player was this thing that, it had a little plastic disc and stuff, and it rolled around, and you could hear stuff.
Oh, LPs are back in. They're retro. They're good. So you'd have to stop it and write it down. I mean, it sounds like ancient history, right? But this was not so long ago, and I was 14 at the time, and I learnt it within 2 days. I said, I've learnt it. And my dad was, what? And I was like, already.
$20.
Yeah.
Money's a good incentive.
My son's now learnt that song.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Your son did it. And you said it took him a month and a half?
About that. But I gave him $30, so, the money, inflation's gone up.
Right.
I try to do it like Christopher Walken, Trouble right here in River City. Why, sure.
Well,
it gives it a little bit more interesting vibe.
Because your kids love doing the voices as well.
Yeah.
So you've got a really big family.
My
you have a couple
son
of kids,
heard
but
me
it's like
doing Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he wanted to do it, and he was like, Dad, can I learn? And we were doing this kind of Arnie thing, and he'd be like, come on, and he'd like, come on, and he.
What's the hardest for you to do? Because obviously, if you're doing anyone British, we kind of Aussie accent, it's kind of related to South African, kind of related to English. But what's the hardest for you?
It depends on the voice. I'm not sure. Morgan Freeman's a hard one for me to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the morning it's really easy, because my voice is a little bit gravelly, and so it sounds, a bit like that.
Yeah.
Just when I wake up in the morning, I probably sound like that naturally.
So when you do your sets.
So that's a good morning one to do.
Yeah, with 200 in there. So when you do things, when you do your performances and stuff like that, do you have to decide that day which one's going to work better for you?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
No, I have my routine, and sometimes I'll ask the audience, who would you like me to do? And I don't know who. They'll throw voices at me, and I just have to think on the spot and go with it. And look, it's interesting because I'll say, who do you want me to do? And they'll yell out one, and I'll go, yep, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Who else?
Who do you want me to do? Who do you want me to do, everybody?
Give us one now.
President Trump.
It's fantastic. I just met Kim Jong-un. It was amazing. It was fantastic. You know what? He's a great guy. I was a little nervous because he's now a good guy. It's weird. It's like when Darth Vader became a good guy. It was just weird. But I'm not as intimidated by him as De Niro. I mean, he's crazy. you know, I can't believe Donald Trump, you know, I'm not going to say what I said about him. But he rang me up.
Please don't.
He rang me up, and I said, "Are you talking to me?" I said, "I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I am watching you." You got to get the face with De Niro. It's all about that. You got to drink a really sour drink or something. Make your face. Oh, look into the sun. It helps.
Yeah. Well, okay, I was a class clown, surprise, right?
Me too.
Teachers either loved you or tolerated you. Which one was it for you? 'Cause you would actually imitate your teachers,
I
didn't you?
imitated my teachers, so I think they tolerated me. It's interesting. I used to ring up students and pretend to be like my drama teacher, telling the kids that couldn't act as well, you got the main role in the play. And they really thought I was the teacher, and then I would reveal, no, it's just me. And they'd go, "Oh, you're there with the teacher." And I'd be like, no, it was all me. And so I could get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you were great for prank calls, too, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What kind of things would you do?
I still do prank calls. I still ring up landscape gardening places, getting them to build a wall in my backyard. I say, I need to block my neighbors out. I need to build a wall. It's going to be huge. And this guy fell for it completely. He just said, "Yep. I don't like my neighbors. You know, they're not bringing their best over. They're sending their cats over, and they're sending their kids over. I don't want to get them."
You have like a royal wedding parody that you do.
Well, the royal wedding just happened, so it's a lot of material there.
Yeah, there was a lot of guests, right?
All my celebrity guests were there.
Yeah, right. In your living room, right?
Yeah.
All right, you did Australia's Got Talent.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do a show like that?
Well, it was one of those things that back in the day, there it is, they had asked me to go on there, and I'd done my fair share of talent shows, and a few people said, "You should go on something like that."
Yeah.
And I was at that point where I was like looking for some sort of break, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do it. And I wasn't at first really interested, because I thought, you know, I'm already making a full-time living out of it,
right.
But it was one of the greatest things I've done, going on there, I think I'm doing some Homer Simpson there.
Yeah. And you know, the cool thing about that,
Simpson's a
though,
lot
is
of
that
fun.
it does give you a whole different audience. And I think it probably reasserts or reaffirms that you're good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and you've got to have that. You've got to have that confidence.
And you have to do it edited down, too, so you got to bring your best game.
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
so it's really like make or break time. Because you can have ones where you mess up a little bit on stage, but you've got a half an hour, and that's fine. You can work with it. But on that, you just got to nail it.
You're a grand finalist. You add about 2 to 3 new voices a year. It's kind of, everybody knows who's been an impressionist. They say it just kind of comes to you one day. It's not like you seek out to do somebody, all of a sudden you just start doing them.
Yeah, exactly. And you could be watching a movie, and just subconsciously I'm studying it. I could be watching Mission Impossible, and I come out and I'm starting to speak like Tom Cruise. It's like, this is great. I'm loving your show. I want to jump on this couch. I love this sofa.
I know. The poor staff.
And I do all my stunts.
I'll get stuck in one, and I just can't, like, I couldn't stop Adele one day, right? I just couldn't stop. I was like, it's a whole new me. Hello from the other side. Whatever. Okay. You have an upcoming 3D.
We can do a duet with that. You could do that with, who could sing that with you?
You know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll be on stage with you. Okay, you got a 3D animated feature, The Pilgrim's Progress.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and you're doing 3 voices on that
I
one,
do
right?
3 voices. You know, The Pilgrim's Progress, one of the second most famous book of all time. Yeah, second to the Bible. And this is the 3D animation movie I do. I can't remember the voice. It sounds a bit like John Cleese. You know, John Cleese from Monty Python's one of those voices. So it's a little bit like that, one of the voices. Yes, extraordinary.
Okay, since you're Australian, I have to have you do this one. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's not bad. He'd be like, that's not a knife, that's a knife.
Yeah, there you go.
Or you want to do like Steve Irwin and speak like this, like the crocodile hunter, mate. Yeah.
That's what we need, yes.
I can teach you Australian to say the word razor blades.
Razor blades.
Well, if you try and do it, it may not work, but if you say rise up lights.
Rise up lights.
There you go, you've said razor blades.
Rise up
so
lights.
now any American can speak Aussie, just go rise up lights. That's how it works.
For more information on Ben Price, you can log on to greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you. Okay, so will you read this next tease with a Brazilian accent?
Well, I think my Brazilian accent, I could probably do Puss in Boots. Is that close enough?
That's close enough.
All right. So, coming up from the heart of Brazil, the way to Texas, mouth-watering fire-roasted meats to kick off your day, Father's Day weekend. To the ball!